If you're a real estate agent who's been hearing about eXp Realty and you're trying to figure out if it's actually legit or just a bunch of hype, this video is for you. I'm going to tell you the truth about eXp, not the pitch, not the recruiting speech, the actual truth, including the stuff that surprised me, the stuff I wish someone had told me before I made the move, and the one thing about eXp that I generally did not expect. Because here's the thing. When I first started hearing about eXp, my reaction was skepticism. Cloud-based brokerage, revenue share, sounds like an MLM. I wasn't interested. But then I started paying attention to which agents in my markets were growing the fastest, which team leaders were building something that actually lasted, and the same brokerage kept coming up over and over again. So I did my homework. I had the conversations and I made the move. And today I'm going to share everything I learned so you can make the right decision for yourself. My name is Scott Coomer. I'm a real estate team leader based in Arizona, and I've been in this industry long enough to know the difference between a shiny object and a real opportunity. Let's get into it. Before I dive in, let me be clear about who this video is and isn't for. This is for you if you're a working real estate agent. Maybe you're already producing, doing 10, 20, 30 deals a year, and something about your current situation isn't adding up. Whether that's the split, the culture, the lack of support, or just the feeling that you're building someone else's business instead of your own. This is also for newer agents who want to get started on the right foot, because the brokerage decision you make early in your career matters more than most people realize. And I'm going to talk about why in a few minutes. And this is for anyone who's already been approached about eXp, maybe by someone in your market, maybe you saw it on social media, and you want to have an honest breakdown before you make any decisions. This is not a recruiting pitch. I'm not going to tell you eXp is perfect for everyone, because it's not. What I'm going to do is give you the real information so you can decide for yourself. And at the end of this video, if you want to sit down with me personally and talk through your specific situation, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. All right, let's start with the obvious question. So what actually is eXp Realty? At its core, eXp is a cloud-based brokerage. That means there are no physical brick and mortar offices you're required to work out of. Instead, everything runs through a virtual platform. Training, collaboration, leadership access, paperwork, all of it. Now, when I first heard cloud-based brokerage, I pictured agents just floating around with no support and no structure. But that's not what this is. eXp has over 85,000 agents across the United States and internationally. It's publicly traded on NASDAQ. This is not a startup. This is not a fly-by-night operation. Glenn Sanford founded it in 2009 and has grown into one of the largest brokerages in the world by agent count. But size doesn't tell you everything. Let me tell you what actually matters. The structure. When you join eXp, you're getting three things that most brokerages don't offer together in the same package. Number one, a competitive commission split with a cap. You start an 80-20 split, and once you hit your cap, which is $16,000 paid to eXp in a calendar year, you go to 100% for the rest of the year. For a producing agent, that cap is very reachable, and once you hit it, everything else you earn that year is yours. Number two, stock awards. eXp gives agents company stock for hitting certain milestones. Your first transaction of the year, when you cap, when you attract an agent who caps. You're not just earning commission, you're building equity in the company you're working for. That's generally different from what most brokerages offer. Number three, revenue share. This is the one that gets the most questions, and I'm going to spend some real time on it in a minute because it's also the most misunderstood. But first, I want to talk about something I didn't expect. One of the biggest hesitations about eXp was this. If it's a cloud-based brokerage, where's the community? Where's the culture? How do you build real relationships with people you never see in person? I want to be straight with you. That concern was valid. It's a real question, and it's one you should ask before you make any brokerage decisions. Here's what I found. The community at eXp is unlike anything I've experienced at a traditional brokerage. And I say that knowing how counterintuitive it sounds. Because when you're at a local brokerage, your community is limited to the agents in your office. Maybe 20, 50, 100 people, depending on the size of the brokerage. And a lot of these agents are your direct competition in the same market. At eXp, your community is 85,000 agents across the country. And because the model incentivizes collaboration through revenue share, through the virtual campus, through events like eXpCon, agents actually help each other. I've had conversations with top producers in markets I've never worked in, who had no reason to help me, who gave me systems and strategies that changed how I run my business. There are masterminds happening inside eXp every single week. There are Facebook groups, Slack channels, virtual trainings, a constant flow of agents who are winning and sharing how they did it. And then there are the in-person events. eXpCon draws thousands of agents together every year. It's one of the best real estate conferences I've ever been to. Not because of the speakers, but because of the agents in the room. I'm going to be honest with you. I expected to feel more isolated at a cloud-based brokerage. Instead, I felt more connected than I ever had at a traditional office. That was the thing nobody told me before I joined. And I think it's the thing that surprised most agents after they make the move. Okay, revenue share. Let's clear this up once and for all, because this is the thing that makes agents either really excited or really skeptical. Sometimes both. Revenue share is not an MLM. I want to say that clearly because I know that's what some of you are thinking. In an MLM, you buy product and recruit people to buy product. That's not what this is. Revenue share at eXp works like this. When you attract an agent to eXp and they join under you, eXp shares a portion of their commission revenue with you, paid by eXp out of their side of the split, not the agent's earnings. The agent you bring in is not paying you anything. eXp is sharing revenue with you for contributing to the growth of the company. Now here's how the math actually works. And I want to be specific because I've seen a lot of people get this wrong. At tier 1, meaning agents you directly bring to eXp, you earn 17.5% of what eXp collects from that agent's transactions. But here's the important detail. That payout only applies to the agent cap. Remember, the cap is $16,000 paid to eXp calendar year. Once they hit the cap, the revenue share on the agent stops for the rest of the year, then it resets the following year. Let me give you a concrete example. Say you bring in an agent to eXp and they have a strong year. They pay you the full cap of $16,000. Your tier 1 revenue share on that agent would be 17.5% of $8,000, which is $1,400 paid to you by eXp, not by the agent. Now multiply that by 5 agents who all cap. That's $7,000 in revenue share without you closing a single additional transaction yourself. And that's just tier 1 example. eXp has a revenue share structure that goes several tiers deep, meaning agents that your agents attract can also contribute to revenue share over time. The agents who have built meaningful revenue share at eXp aren't people who are recruited everyone they met. They're people who were intentional, who tracked other serious producing agents who went on to build their own business. Is revenue share for everyone? No. If you have zero interest in ever attracting another agent to eXp, you can still have a great career here based on the split and the stock alone. But if you ever wanted to build something beyond your own production, a real residual income stream, this is the most legitimate version of what I've seen in the industry. Now, I want to address something directly because I get this question a lot. Is eXp a good fit if you're a newer agent? And my honest answer is yes, but with one important condition. The condition is that you join a team. Here's why. eXp is a cloud-based brokerage, which means the experience you get depends heavily on the people around you. A newer agent who joins eXp without any team structure around them might find it harder to get the day-to-day guidance and support they need to get their first deals done. But a newer agent who joins eXp as part of a strong team, that's a completely different story. On our team here in the Phoenix area, we have newer agents who are closing deals and building real momentum because they have structure around them. They have systems, they have coaching, they have experienced agents to lean on. They have someone in their corner who's invested in their success. The eXp platform gives you access to incredible training through eXp World, weekly live classes, and thousands of resources. But a team gives you the human element. Someone who picks up the phone when you have a question on your first transaction. Someone who helps you navigate a tough negotiation. Someone who holds you accountable to your daily activities. So if you're a newer agent watching this and you're considering eXp, the question I'd ask is not should I join eXp, but who should I join eXp with? That decision matters more than almost anything else in your first 2 years. And that's actually something I'd love to talk to you about directly, which I'll get into just a minute. I told you that eXp wasn't going to be a pitch, so let me be honest about who eXp might not be the best fit for. If you're primarily motivated by having the most recognizable local brand name on your business card, eXp might feel like a step sideways. eXp brand is growing nationally and internationally, but it's not the same as a franchise name that every homeowner in your specific market already knows. And if you generally love your current brokerage, you're growing, your split feels fair, and you feel really supported, don't leave. Seriously, brokerage moves should be made for the right reasons. If what you have is working, stay and keep building. But if any part of you is sitting there thinking, I'm working this hard and I feel like I'm not getting ahead, my split doesn't reward my production, I don't feel like I'm building anything long term, I'm watching other agents around me grow and I can't figure out what they're doing differently, then I think this conversation is worth having. When I was evaluating my options and thinking about making a brokerage move, one of my biggest hesitations was the unknown. Leaving a situation you know for one you don't is uncomfortable. That's real. But when I started looking honestly at where I was headed long term, at what I was actually building, I realized I was trading time for money with no real ceiling and no equity in anything. The move to eXp wasn't impulsive. I did my research, I had conversations, I ran the numbers. And once I made the move, the thing that stood out immediately wasn't the split of the stock, it was the people. The level of agents I started having access to inside eXp changed how I think about my business. When you're surrounded by people who are operating at a higher level and who are generally invested in your success because of the way the model works, you grow faster. It's that simple. I'm not going to sit here and tell you my income doubled overnight. That's not how any of this works. But I will tell you that I'm building something now that I wasn't building before. I have income streams I didn't have before. I have a community of agents around me that pushes me in ways I didn't experience at a traditional brokerage. And on our team here in Phoenix, I get to watch newer agents have breakthroughs that I genuinely believe wouldn't have happened without the combination of eXp's platform and our team structure. That's something I'm proud of. That's my honest experience. Before you make any brokerage decisions, eXp or otherwise, here are the questions I want you to be able to answer. What am I actually keeping per transaction after my splits and fees? Not the headline number, what you actually take home. Am I building any equity in this business or am I starting from zero every single year? Does my current brokerage give me access to training and tools that are actually making me more money? Or is it just a name and a logo? What does my business look like in 5 years if nothing changes? Am I capping at my current brokerage? If yes, what happens after you cap? At eXp, you go to 100%. At many traditional brokerages, you just keep paying. And if you're a newer agent, who's actually in your corner helping you get your first deals done? These are the questions that matter. And I'm happy to sit down with you and help you work through them for your specific situation. If you made it this far in the video, you're not casually curious, you're someone who's actually thinking about this seriously, and I respect that. Here's what I want to offer you. I do one-on-one Zoom calls with agents who want to have an honest, no pressure conversation about whether eXp makes sense for where they are right now. Whether you're a newer agent trying to figure out the right place to build your career, or an experienced agent who's questioning whether your current situation is actually serving you, I want to have that conversation, not a pitch call. A real conversation where you bring your questions, I bring honest answers. At the end of it, walk away with clarity, whether that leads you to eXp or not. I've had these calls with agents who joined eXp and never looked back. I've also had these calls with agents who decided it wasn't the right time, and I told them that directly. My goal is not to add bodies. My goal is to help the right agents find the right situation. If that sounds like something you want, the link to book a call directly on my calendar is in the description below. My calendar link is right there. It takes about 30 seconds to book, and we'll find time that works for you. And if you're not ready for a call yet, that's completely fine. Subscribe to my channel. I put out content every week specifically for real estate agents who want to grow, build real income streams, and stop feeling like they're running on a treadmill that never moves forward. I'm Scott Coomer. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.